humans and also extraterrestrials. It has been, oh, I don't know how long, upwards of a year maybe, since I was last on here. But I thought I would give I thought I'd give us a little update on what's going on in my life. Um, so I am currently it is just pre my exam season for my second year of university, my second year student. Um, I have been very busy with lots of life stuff, with uni stuff, and then also just general life stuff. So that is the main reason I've not been here. I do really like making YouTube videos, and it's something I enjoy doing. I have never been a person that can follow a solid structure, unless I literally have nothing else to do. Like the reason that I was posting so consistently for the most part through lockdown, um, is because I literally had no other responsibilities for a good chunk of it. And if I did, it was working like maybe a day or two a week. Um, Whereas now with uni and job stuff and life, finding place, all of the life stuff that chucks onto me, and I have like actual social, kind of, what's the word? Like I have like a D&D group, and I go to society meetings every week, and like, I have things that I do now. Obligations is the word. I have like social obligations now, which I didn't really have when I was making stuff more consistently. Because I was a teenager who was just kind of enjoying the ride of being a teenager, which was lovely. But yeah, so I've been very busy. Um, I have been writing a lot of poetry. I'm not planning on sharing any of it here. I've not really been writing as much music. I've got a couple of songs and stuff that I've been thinking about posting on the musical channel, which again, link in the doobly doo and all that. I'm gonna try and restructure so that if I do make this is no promise of a comeback. I'm certainly not a consistent one. I have a couple of video ideas that I'm planning on making. Some of them might get made today, but this is no promise of I can come back and here's 12 videos and here's all of this. None of that. But I just wanted to give you guys a little what's the deal with what's going on with me. My video quality is gonna be different. I have no idea. My phone is new and also far cheaper than the one I had previously, which is what I've always been using to record. So my audio might be awful. I'm not sure. We'll find out. This is also kind of a test for that. But I just thought I'd give you a little rambly. Here's what's going on with me. But yeah, so I've not been writing music very much. I love music. I've discovered I'm far better. I far more enjoy performing music than I do writing it because the melodic element is the thing I struggle with the most. So I've been writing a lot of poetry and also fan fiction, but that's definitely not getting shared in here anytime soon. Um, I'm happy to talk about fandom stuff, but I'm not, I'm not gonna post my AO3 or anything. Um, and I've not really been reading outside of uni books. You know what? Actually, it is March going into April. I'm gonna tell you guys what I've read this year. Okay, I have my Storygraph open. I will also leave that down there. Hopefully, future me watches this back and remembers to do all those things. This is my R2. Um, but yeah, I have consumed. I've done a lot more audiobook listening than I have been physically reading books because when I'm not, even for stuff for university, just because it makes it so much easier for me to parse, especially with, and this feels really silly, but I've always felt this way when it comes to books that aren't physical pages. If I'm reading something on like a PDF, I really struggle. So if I instead have the audiobook version, whether I'm sitting and playing a game on my phone or doing a Sudoku, or I'm like literally just reading along while I'm listening to it, that really helps because I really struggle to. I don't know, something about the physicality of a book pulls me into it. But anyway, I've read 5 books this year so far, and we're not going to go through them in extreme detail, but I just wanted to give you guys a little vibe. I also don't have physical copies of any of these, so if I remember, there will be pictures here. If not, I will put links to all of them on Storygraph in my description, or put links to them somewhere in the description. So, the first one is, as per usual, not even a little bit organised. This probably isn't going to be very heavily edited. First of all, the first book that I finished this year that I think I actually probably read most of over Christmas or over like my like holiday break, winter break, was Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas, which is a fantastic book. I don't know if I've given star ratings to these. I don't think I have. Oh no, I did. I gave that a 5-star review. I really enjoyed that. It's sort of like a fantastical, like magical realism story about death and magic and queer identity. It's really good and I really enjoyed it. That's again, I'm not going to give you lots of great things. I've read technically this. Well, no, it is a book, but it's a collection of stories, which is Pale Horse, Pale Rider by Catherine Ann Porter. Which is like reflective. Kind of. This was for class. Um, this is I don't really know how to explain this. I kind of read this just on a blind mind as like I need to read this for my seminar that I'm going to. It was interesting. I think sometimes if you're reading something for a purpose beyond that isn't just for enjoyment, it's hard to gauge how I felt about it. Like there was lots to analyze from it, but I don't know what star rating I'd give it. Maybe a 3.5. I don't know. Sometimes when I'm just thinking about stuff, it's hard to gauge it. I also read The Good Soldier by Ford Madox Ford, which I did really like actually. Also, again, I think that's also for class. That was for my big essay. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was really interesting. It is a 1915 like fictional biography. I guess is how you describe it. As in, it is a fictional story, but it is like placed as if it's written as if it's a biography. From John Dowell and the perspective of just like some of the people in his life for however long it lasts. It's very, very meandering and has that almost it's like definitive like unreliable narrator kind of vibes, and it has that almost like unnecessarily convoluted Victorian writing almost when you're like 12 subclauses deep and you lose track of where the start of the sentence was. It has that kind of a feeling to it, and it's really, if that's your kind of thing, you can dig your teeth really deep into it. And there's also some stuff where you can be speculative about what the truth is of what happened because of the unreliable narrator aspect. I enjoyed it. There's also, I finally read the actual book of Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I watched the movie. I watched the film, the Ghibli film. God knows how many years ago now. 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Not, it wasn't an insane amount of time ago, but it was pre-lockdown, pre-COVID, which feels like an age. And it's the book's guys. The book's so different. It's great. I really enjoyed it. I would say that's also a 5-star book. I had a fantastic time. I listened to the audiobook because it is free on Spotify. So if you have a Spotify account, they have some audiobooks on there and you can listen to it for free. And the narrator's great and it's so delightful. I can't spoil anything, but it's very good and you should read it. If you read it thinking that it's going to be the same as the film, you are going to be sorely mistaken. There's loads of stuff. It's kind of a little bit warning. It kind of a little bit ruined the movie for me. I love the film. Visually, it's stunning and beautiful, but there's lots of story aspects from like, I wish that Miyazaki had put this in it. But the book's fantastic. I would highly recommend it to anyone that wants a fun fantasy novel. I mean, it is obviously aimed towards a younger audience. It's like a middle grade kind of story, but I don't care. I had a great time. Some of my favorite fantasy books are aimed at that age, and in a completely different kind of vibe and a much shorter story compared to everything else on this list. Mine is Pale Horse, Pale Rider because that's like 3 shorter stories. Is In the Dream House by Carmen Maria. I looked this up and I still don't know if it's Machado or Machado. I'm assuming it's Machado, but I could be wrong. And I apologize if I'm wrong. But this is a memoir about Carmen, the author's experience with basically her being in an abusive relationship, and how she got out of that. It's a fascinating story. It's so fascinating, not in a positive way, obviously, just in a like being able to hear into the mind of that. This is also for Uni, but I also just thought it was a brilliant expression. Um, and it talks about fragmentation, like it talks about what it does to your mind, and also how when you leave that, it doesn't fix that. Everything isn't automatically fit. It's great. I would, if it is something you have a sound enough mind to be able to read, I would highly recommend it. Um, if for whatever reason it's triggering, of course, but I would highly recommend it. It's fantastic. Um, and there's also, it was a relationship with a woman, so that leaves like there's all this interesting discussion of queer identity in the mix, and all this other stuff. So those are the books that I've read so far this year. I finished that one about a month ago, and I've not really been reading anything else since. um I have a little bit of a break right now where I'm taking like this week and a little bit and maybe a good bit of next week off in terms of uni stuff before I delve into studying really hard for my exams. So I only have a couple of exams, which is a delightful change of pace compared to some of the stuff that we deal with in high school, where you have like 6 exams within 2 weeks or whatever. The deadlines are just a lot tougher. But yeah. So I've not really been reading. I'm in the, as per usual, I'm in the middle of a lot of books. I don't have physical access to all of them because some of them are still at my family home and I am not there at the moment. But maybe whenever I see you next, in the next couple months, I might have updates for you in terms of reading, but I'm still in the middle of lots of things I would love to finish. I'm currently, I will say actually, no, the only thing I've actively been reading, which is also an audiobook, I'm currently listening to American Gods by Neil Gaiman, which is, I'm really enjoying. It's quite long. I'm listening to the, like, I think it's the 10-year anniversary, like, it's almost like an extended edition where it's like the definitive longer version. It's like 20 hours in the audiobook, which is pretty long. But yeah, that's what I'm reading and I'm really enjoying it so far. But yeah, that's my update. This was very rambly, but it was nice to talk at a camera for the first time in a long while. I have plans for a video that is about a video about some TTRPG actual play, which, if that's anyone's cup of tea, then enjoy a possible video about Dimension 20 coming out at some point in the next few months, maybe, but I'm not giving any promises. The script is kind of written, but the outline is kind of written. But yeah, thank you for, if you're watching this, for sticking around after all this time, even if you're my mum or a family friend or someone I went to school with that's just making sure I'm still alive. Thank you for sticking around regardless. Oh god, do I remember the outro? It's been so long. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to drink your water, eat your vegetables, and peace out, I guess. It's been a while.